subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can contribute to the conversation by dialing 202-683-4570 and press *5 to speak. Now, later tonight in the social hour, our guest Brittney will be addressing questions that came up from her previous interview back in October of last year. Did Kenyans overreact to her using the phrase black ass? Brittney will also be spilling some ketepa tea with stories about her love life, so stay tuned for that. Na bila kusahau, tapokea mziki toka DJ wetu machachari mleta habari DJ OmoshFaya, na tutadunda kule viwanjani na Micah jezi yake nambari 7 mgongoni akituletea habari za michezo. So moja kwa moja toka Kilimanjaro Studios ni mimi mtangazaji na mwanahabari wako mpendwa Ali Badawy. Kwetu wananiita mteule na wengine mniite mjukuu wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui na sibagui. Karibuni tena.
Now, let's talk politics.
Now, this hour there'll be no politics. We'll be talking to our guest, Miss Brittney Caldwell, in a second part of her interview, which started last year in October. Now, Brittney will be talking to us about what she's been up to since coming back to the U.S., her views on Kenyans in the diaspora, and her trip to Fufuland, a.k.a. Nigeria. So stay tuned for that and more. I'm your co-host and producer, Ali Badawy. It's Friday the 3rd of February, and we are coming to you live from Kilimanjaro Studios outside Washington, D.C. Please remember to subscribe to our OneMic Show YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at OneMic Show. On panel with me tonight is Mr. OneMic Kamakawa. Our sports anchor, Micah is also live in studio tonight. And our resident DJ OmoshFaya is also finally out here in studio. Ruth is absent with apologies, and our super producer is none other than Mubelo Bandio. And tonight we shall get started right away because people have been waiting and we have so much to cover tonight. Now, last year in October, the OneMic Show hosted a famous Black American YouTuber who made Kenya her home. Now, she discussed issues including Black American expat life in Nairobi and why she chose Kenya over Ghana, where she had previously lived. Now, we also addressed stereotypes between Africans and Black Americans fueled by sensational media narratives. And we also had conversations on many other topics. Now, due to public demand, this famous Black American expert, Miss Brittney Caldwell, is back in Kilimanjaro Studios tonight. She's been in the U.S. since late September last year, catching up with family and friends. Now, Brittney has also had the opportunity of meeting several Kenyans who live in the U.S. Now, to add on to that, she finally made her maiden trip to Abuja, Nigeria, a country that had been on her bucket list in her quest to visit all 54 African countries. And tonight, we are looking to get a fresh perspective from Miss Brittney. Now that she's had a chance of interacting with diaspora Kenyans after having lived in Kenya. Brittney, karibu sana. Welcome to Kilimanjaro Studios once again.
Asante.
Oh,
Asante.
all right, I see.
You.
You're doing great. You're doing great. I like that. And Brittney, you've been here now for almost 5 months.
Yeah.
Are you giving up on Kenya?
No, I'm going back to Kenya in August, and I'm bringing people with me.
Okay, now I want you to hold that.
Yeah.
I want you to hold that, but you're still going back to Kenya. You've not changed your mind because
No.
some of your fans are asking, okay, Brittney has been away from Kenya for 5 months. Is she having second thoughts? What's going on?
And that's living outside of the U.S. period.
Okay.
Last time I went for a job.
Okay.
Next time I settle, I'm going to make jobs and to have a business. Do you get what I'm saying? So right now I'm gonna be bicontinental, but I'm stacking.
Okay.
So I can go back and really have my way.
All right, great. And in studio we also have DJ OmoshFaya. DJ Omosh, karibu sana.
Why I say selector massive.
Okay.
Everything Ari. Yeah, me.
All right, that's DJ OmoshFaya.
That's that island talk, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we also have, okay, all right, I see you're back from the island. How was the island, by the way?
I found 5 fish.
Okay. Yeah. And do you still have them? Did you capture them? Did you eat them? What happened to them?
They are still in the same spot, so maybe when I go back, they might become 7.
Okay. All right. We also have Micah somewhere in the building. Micah will be talking to us later on. And we also have Mike also making sure, all the equipment is set up right. We're going to hear from Mike later on. Now, another thing, Brittney, coming back to you. Remember the term black and the term expert. You notice that people are still having issues with that. When I posted, the flyer for the show yesterday, you notice some people were asking why I was using the term black to refer to you as a Black American. So Is there any issue with using the term black? Because it seemed to...
I cannot speak for all black people, but first of all, this is Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling extra black.
Okay.
I love being black.
All right.
I think that when you're talking about an expat experience, especially on a continent that is, you know, the origin of most black people throughout the world, I think that it's cool to say black expat. Like, I'm not a normal, I'm not, it depends. I think it kind of shapes the experience or what you're going there to get out of the experience. So I am proud to be black. I'm proud to be a black woman, a black person, a black expat,
now
black driver.
The other issue was also the term expert, you know, because someone was asking, why is she being called an expert, yet I'm being called an immigrant here in America?
An expat and an immigrant. I mean, that is an argument that I see their side, and I get that. And I've actually posted about that. It is very classist. It's rooted in a lot of things that I can't control, but that's just the term that's coined. So if someone called me an immigrant, a Kenyan immigrant, I wouldn't be mad.
Okay.
I would answer to that as well.
So people are just putting a bit too much of thought into this.
I think we're living in an age where everyone wants to be offended.
Wow. Okay. And why do you say that?
It's just like you can assume the best in someone. Like, just because someone answers to an expat doesn't mean that they also don't acknowledge the fact that they're an immigrant, but that just is what it is. I think a lot of the time we have like difficulty assuming that they don't mean it in a I'm better than you type way. So a lot of people will be like, you know, it's expat when you guys come to African countries, but when Africans come to your country, we're an immigrant.
All right. Okay. And I want to welcome all the listeners. I can see Slay Odwar. I can see Ulrika Bernard. Ulrika Bernard was complaining about the volume, but I think that has been sorted out. Stephen Bati anasema ndo kuingia briefly Sambaza podcast here. Karibu sana. And then Stephen Bati, or rather Slay says, hiyo kitamba is too tight for Omosh. That's DJ OmoshFaya giving some island vibes. But yeah, you know, like that's what it is.
In fact, I will remove it just for her. I'll remove it just
No, just keep the kitamba. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It looks good.
We haven't figured hit or miss, and she's already coming.
No, she just said it's too tight. She didn't say it's good or bad.
Boss,
she just said it's
what
too
do you
tight.
think? What does too tight mean?
I don't know. Tight could mean
too tight could mean that you're a little bit
is it what he
wound
said?
up. I mean, you can ish.
Yeah.
To the Lena show.
All right. Okay. All right. Bye.
Brittney's like, okay, what's going on over here?
All right.
No,
Bye.
I'm interested. I'm trying to figure out what too tight means too.
All right. Well,
See?
Slay. Now you see, Slay. You have to define
Hey,
what you mean
give me
by
pound.
too tight.
Yeah.
On the side, that's Brian.
What
Yeah.
does that mean?
All right.
Tight, like-
So back to you, Brittney. You know, what have you been up to in the U.S., you know, for those 5 months? You know, like, did you maybe find a new job? Or have you just been chilling out, meeting Kenyans? What have you been up to?
So I've been doing everything. I have met a lot of Kenyans. I've been making content. I've been, I took a trip to Nigeria, and I did get a new job, a like very high paying job that was hard to say no to.
High paying job.
And then, you know, like the clearance process
Okay.
and all that.
Top secret clearance.
Yeah, but it's, I've realized during this process, I truly value time more than money. I value like freedom and flexibility
Okay.
more than money.
Okay. So the job you got is giving you some flexibility?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Which is what's making me realize like I think I can only be my happiest self when I'm remote and traveling.
Okay.
You can't put a number on it for me.
And-
At first I thought you could, but you can't.
Yeah. And how is this going to work with you going back to live in Kenya?
I'm transitioning into remote, and I'm actually going to be, my goal for living in Kenya is 2024 after my wedding.
Oh,
Wow.
keep it wedding, you know, like so.
If was that meant to happen like that?
I know, but,
Like,
but you know,
The news just came out like that.
no, we want you to keep low on the wedding, you know, like we're going to talk about it later on. But yeah, you know, so I think, you know, like people were still asking, you know, like, is Brittney coming back to Kenya? You know, like what's happening, what's going on? And I'm glad that, you know, like you're revealing what's going on. So that's the goal, 2024. And then you also had a chance to go to Abuja, Nigeria. Talk about that.
I went to Abuja so that I could attend a wedding. and I was going to meet with someone who I actually met in Nairobi.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Kenyan or a Nigerian?
A Nigerian.
So you're going to Nairobi to meet Nigeria. Anyway, so yeah, talk about Abuja. Let's talk about Abuja.
It was cool, but I could never live there.
Wow. That's a whole big statement.
Why is that?
I think West Africa in general right now is doing great, but I need things that I think can't be like offered all the way there right now. I think like even small things like M-Pesa, they're just not there yet.
Okay. All right. So M-Pesa is one thing, but and we know M-Pesa is a big deal, and I think in Kenya we take it for granted.
I think y'all do.
Yes, we do, and it's it's quite a big deal. But what exactly besides M-Pesa? What is it that Nairobi has that you feel like Abuja or maybe Nigeria does not have or cannot give?
I feel like West Africa in general has a power problem.
Power.
Electricity.
Okay.
And I can't the generator life is not for me. It's not.
You can get a silent one, or we'll get you solar or wind.
No, but explain that generator life for maybe someone who does not, who's not been there.
For some of the listeners here,
for someone who's not been there, explain that generator life. What is it about?
Unless you're like in a top notch, like Karen type, like I don't want to even say top like Micah. I don't really know. Whatever. You are not guaranteed power 24/7, and the government, like the people, the power companies shut down power.
They ration.
They ration power, and it's just ghetto.
Okay.
I think that if you've lived in that area, of course, if you've grown up like that, it's something you're used to kind of dealing with. But if you have not dealt with that, it's shocking.
How frequent is it? Is it like a weekly thing?
At least once a day.
Ooh. How many hours in a day?
There, at least once a day.
Like
the lights went off.
Like half an hour, 15 minutes.
How long would they go?
30,
how long would it last?
42 minutes.
40, even like I'd say about like, it could range. It could be 20 minutes. Well, it also depends on if you have a generator.
Okay.
So if you don't have a generator, it's long. It feels way longer. It could be like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Okay.
If you have a generator, it comes on. You gotta put the little gas in it. It'll come on pretty quickly.
Okay.
Like, so the person I was staying with, he had a generator, but for me, it's even mentally draining. The fact that something needs to be generated. Why are the lights going off? Or like, say I'm in the middle of a very important call.
Wow.
Or something with work. I'm working remote. This could be high stakes.
Okay.
And the power goes off, and the generator takes a while to kick in.
And would you know if that was just an Abuja problem or it's an issue
it's
across
all across
the country?
Nigeria. Even when we went to Benin City, the hotel we were staying at, the power went off.
Wow. Okay. That is a big thing. OmoshFaya, what are your thoughts about that?
You know, and I think we had this discussion last week, actually, when we were talking about, when we came back and we were talking about what's going on, and you guys brought up about power and power issues.
Yeah.
Where I think, Kenya, we are spoiled.
Yes.
We are very fortunate that we have power. Even if power goes off, it'll probably be for about 20 minutes, but that is rare.
And it's rare.
It's rare.
It's so rare.
It's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've been watching Ghetto Gava.
Yes.
For some people, you can go to
African Uncensored, the YouTube page, John
Alanamu, and they were talking about Kibera and Madare and the ecosystem that is over there in terms of power.
Yeah.
There's power. People do get power. People do get water. Right? So what baffles me is a country like Nigeria, oil producing, and I believe in Africa it's number one.
Yeah, it's a number
in the
one
world is top 5.
Yeah.
But yet power problems. But I was reading something and I could be wrong. I think what was happening was there are cartels. There are people who have got contracts, people in power who have got contracts to bring in generators. So
they're profiting from the situation.
Of course.
Okay.
100%. And,
Of course.
and Nigerians know this, and they're fed up, and they understand. Like, oil is so high right now. Fuel is so high in Nigeria.
Actually,
and
they're having a fuel shortage right now.
Yeah,
Nigeria has a
exactly.
fuel shortage right now.
They are. My friend literally was like, I can't find gas.
Yeah, they can't find gas.
Okay.
You have to know somebody who knows somebody.
They're even switching the money over right now. People can't
they
find
switched the money over like we did in Kenya.
You're talking about changing the bills, the currency.
They changed the currency. So, the guys who had the pallets,
the older currencies,
sitting in the house, you're being asked the source of your money, and you can't just change the money. And nobody is getting the new bills, and the old bills are no longer acceptable. So life in Nigeria is going to be tough until elections, which is, I think,
next
in
month.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
or 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Baba was actually in Nigeria telling them to be careful about their IBC over there stealing election like the way they stole it in Kenya. But that's a story for another day.
God.
That's
Here
a story
we
for
go.
another day. But Brittney, back to you. I also noticed that you started a new podcast, or you were taking part in some podcast.
Yeah, I was just test piloting my sister's podcast.
Oh,
really.
okay.
We collab in and out, but that's not really anything that's like longevity for me.
Okay.
Yeah, we just kind of have
So
fun
your
together.
sister is called Brittney's sister in Africa, or?
No, her name is Deshauna Barber. We have two very different brands.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
try to bring them together, but like it's like not
What's
gonna
her brand?
happen for us. She does motivational speaking
Okay.
to
Okay.
very diverse crowds of people, professional
Okay.
crowds like
Okay.
Goldman and Sachs, and like
Oh.
I'm unhinged at times.
Okay. So you can't speak to Goldman and Sachs?
I can if I want to, but
she can speak, but I don't think she'll motivate them.
that's they may not want to hear what I have to say. No, I'm just kidding. No. We're better as two different brands.
Okay.
Rather than trying to force our brands.
She might
So-
go and say black ass.
Okay.
She can't say black ass.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna work out.
So the podcast, that's your sister's
Yeah.
that's your sister's gig. Okay, yeah, because there was some very interesting conversations about Black Americans and things that people are going through in terms of relationships and all that.
Yeah.
So that was very
was a
interesting
vibe.
talk. What was the name of the podcast again? Maybe for those who want to
Pretty Ugly Lessons.
Pretty Ugly Lessons. Okay.
Yeah.
And on what platforms is it on?
It's on Apple Music, Spotify, all of that.
Okay.
All of that. But I'm not participating in that anymore. So she's running off with that. I kind of just posted them for fun.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. All right, good. And I want to remind the listeners that you are tuned in to the interview hour of the OneMic show. And I'm your co-host and producer, Ali Badawy. We're talking to Brittney, a black expat living in Kenya. She will, later in the hour, give her views on what she feels about Kenyans living in the United States. So you want to stay tuned for that. But before we continue, I want to take this opportunity to introduce Micah Och. Micah Och is in the building. And maybe Micah, tell us what we're going to be talking about in sports tonight. Micah, twende kazi.
Thank you, Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time talking into a mic like this. Today on sports, you're going to Sijua Salimia. Sorry,
Yes.
How are you? Happy Friday.
I think we need to give,
Happy New Year.
yeah, we need to give Micah a Bluetooth microphone.
Yeah, because I just
I
wear.
think,
No,
I'm not
he's-
used to
he's
this.
not-
I'm
Yeah.
not used to this.
It's
I'm
tough.
used,
It's tough.
I'm just being the comfort in my. Anyway, how are you guys? Have you been? It's been long, man. I missed you guys. I saw Omosh a few months ago, but damn, you too. I've not seen you in
I
a while.
know.
And
Mulionana
Miss Brittney at
December.
least, oh yeah, we met.
Mulena
No, but-
No, I didn't meet you.
But you in
No.
Kenya, did you meet him?
No,
No, you'll never meet him.
Oh, yeah, I
I
know.
was
by
in-
the
I
way.
was
He's
in
actually in a
Mombasa, I was
black
in
hole.
Kilifi.
He's the most impossible guy to beat in
He's
Kenya.
normally in a
Alright.
black hole.
Kilifi.
I don't know.
It's a
Whenever
black
he goes
hole.
there, like even getting contact on him with him on the phone, you're lucky.
You were in Nairobi for a couple of nights
Yeah.
when I was in Nairobi. And you actually, wacha kunipoint, ulienda rege mara mbili kani kwa Nairobi, hukunitafuta.
Yeah, so I think
No,
this
no,
is
Reggae Baramoja,
Mara
but that
moja.
was that was on the 20 Korea.
21.
so this is a case that we're gonna solve.
We're going to
Yes.
solve
Right,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
off air,
yeah,
off air,
yeah,
off
let's-
air,
let's
off
not-
air.
Maybe
yeah,
he's
let's
just
not
not
put
really
it out
trying
there.
to see anyone he can
It-
see
it
at
could
home.
be.
But that's not what he says. He can tell us that I'm not trying to see anyone.
And then
you
we'll
can-
leave him alone. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't
we'll
have
give
to
him
talk to
space.
him. If
We
he
will
wants his
invite
space,
him.
But he
we'll give
never
him his
says that.
space.
He wants space and
Listen,
opportunity.
Tell him.
But he never says
I've
that.
been seeing them the whole year.
Yeah, he's like, I'll see you
You've
when I
not
get
seen me
back,
the
bro.
whole year.
I see you on Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, Micah, talk to us about sports. What are we going to be talking
so
about in
today's
sports
sports
tonight?
we're going to be we're going to have a little discussion about the Super Bowl. Dissect various scenarios about it, what's unique about it, what's strange and nice about it. And then we're going to talk a little bit of a dicey subject concerning one young man called Mason Greenwood and a team called Manchester United.
Okay.
And we'll delve much more into that during the sports segment.
Okay, so that's during the sports segment. I think there were some allegations or some rape allegations against Mason Greenwood. That's going to be in the sports segment. We're going to be digging in on that.
Delve,
yes.
not dig, delve.
Delve. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, English teacher. Stephen Batty here says, by the way, before I forget, Africa Podfest is going to be on YouTube Live February 12th, 2023. For all those interested in learning about African podcasters and the new podcast. Thank you so much. And Karibu Sana Esther Mulusa. Esther Mulusa is also watching.
Before that, I think there's somebody, Slehad Asta, was saying, please talk on getting expatriate jobs. I may have missed this on the first interview.
Getting
expatriate jobs.
Expatriate jobs in Kenya or in the US?
I'm thinking in Kenya.
Google UN. If you're an expat, if you're American and trying to find a American paying job in Kenya, look at the UN, the embassy, international teaching opportunities. Yeah, any type of government type of job. Those are the only things that
Red
are really going to take
Cross.
you. Yeah, organizations.
That company the farming company, Monsanto.
Okay. The ones who are taking, like
The GMO
the
guys.
GMO stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Okay. All right.
Can you imagine Slay has a job looking out for GMOs?
Well,
I don't know.
As long
I
as
don't
it
know.
pays.
I don't
If
know
the
if-
check is right, people will do many things.
Slay. I don't know.
I
that
love GMOs.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to you, Brittney. We were among the first Kenyans that you met when you got back here last year in October, and there was other Kenyans that you had a chance of meeting. Like after you met us, just talk about some of the people you met and some of the exciting things you did with Kenyans while you were here. Right after you came from that first interview last year, Brittney.
Okay. So I did hang out with Betty AZ.
Okay.
And
And
Yvonne.
and who's Betty AZ? Some people don't know who she is.
She's a YouTuber. She's like a big Kenyan YouTuber. I think she's at like 30,000
Okay.
subscribers. Kenyan women love them some Miss Betty.
Okay. And she's what state is she in?
She's in Arizona.
Okay.
So she'll do like she does like the mommy vibe.
Okay.
And she's like, living in America, this is how much a DoorDasher makes.
Okay.
Teaching my baby girls Swahili dancing and
Okay.
things like that. So she was so fun. Seriously.
Okay.
My followers, I've never really heard of her until they were like, go see Betty when I went there. So my followers were like really happy to see her. And then Yvonne is a popular YouTuber. I don't know if y'all have, not popular YouTuber, popular TikToker. I don't know if y'all have heard of like the viral thing that in Kenya, the woman who spent like $700 at Naiva's.
No.
Oh yeah, I know her.
Yvonne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right.
No,
That's right.
I think
I think I've seen the video.
$700.
Yeah.
Why
What-
did
what-
this?
Yeah. No. She used to live here and,
Yeah.
and
She
went
used
to
to live
Kenya.
here. She
Okay.
just touched down in Kenya.
Okay. Yeah.
So I hung out with her. We kicked it before she left.
Okay.
That was a vibe. I actually met a Kenyan who works at my son's school and is doing an exchange program.
That's
And I've
interesting.
been trying to pressure her into letting me interview her. She's like, I'm so shy. So I was like, girl, okay, let's talk after spring
So
break.
she's here on an
she's-
exchange
she's a
program.
She's here on an
Yeah.
exchange program.
She's here. She is Kenyan. And my son's school, our county is like trying to integrate different cultures.
Okay.
to have kids have like representation and things.
Okay.
So they have Kenya as one of the countries in South Africa.
So they get kids from Kenya and South Africa?
They get teachers.
Oh, teachers. Okay.
From Kenya, and her 2 children came with her.
Oh, that's
Wow.
interesting.
It's crazy.
You
What
should
county-
interview her.
So
what county is that? Is that
Prince William
Pennsylvania?
County.
Oh, it's Prince William.
Prince William County. So I
Okay.
guess my son loves going to school like, oh, like I went to Kenya, like I went to that. So he said that the lady was like, oh, your mom is Kenyan? And he's like, no, she just lives in Kenya, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. So when I finally did go to his school, he was like so excited for me to meet her.
Okay. Now that would be interesting, you know, because I think a lot of teachers would like
Teacher
to know how you
exchange
can
program.
apply for
Listen,
such a program.
I'm trying to put the pressure on. So honey, you see me? I'm sending you this clip. People want to hear what you have to say. I've been trying to interview her, but she's shy.
Maybe we should bring her to the OneMic show first, and then
Yeah.
she'll
That would
warm
be
up to
fine.
Yeah,
come
hold
to
her
your show.
hands. Just
I
hold her hands
will,
and
but
come
I
with her.
asked her, like, how are you assimilating? Like, how do you feel? And she's like, you know, I'm lonely, I'm busy
Okay.
all the time. I'm very tired. I'm busy. So I told her, like, come over, girl, bring the kids. Like, I'm here if you need something, and you can come cook for me.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Okay. That's quite interesting. So
Sounds like Brittney.
So that
wants-
was- so
Brittney
that's
has an ugali
Betty
plan
AZ.
in all of this. This is all about ugali. That I don't think that she's trying to
Like,
interview.
no.
yeah.
Betty AZ,
Uh-huh.
Yvonne, and now this.
And now the teacher.
The exchange,
Yeah.
the teaching exchange that's one interesting. Like, how did that even happen?
No, I mean, and
I
that
think
would
she's at
be good.
51. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Huh?
She's at 51.
Ah,
Betty,
okay.
you go, girl.
Oh.
And then I met up in Chicago with a Black American expat who is going to live in Kenya.
Oh,
so
that's
she's there
interesting.
now.
Uh-huh.
So we met up and kind of vibed. I met up with a Sudanese guy. I don't know if you guys know Luo Man.
No.
He's
I
really
don't,
popular in DC. He like came up with a Facebook game in Sudan, and they basically it took him from like a refugee camp to being a millionaire like overnight, basically.
Oh, wow.
And he's based out of DC. So I met
It's called Luo Man.
Luo
Luol
Man.
Meng.
Okay.
Like
Luol.
Luol Deng, but then Luol
Look him
Meng
up.
with
Yeah.
an M.
Lual.
Ah, okay.
So I've been at Swahili Village. Swahili Village
Yes.
has like
Talk
opened the
about-
doors for me.
Yes,
they love me.
Tell us about Swahili Village.
I
Which
love
one?
Swahili
Which
and,
one?
Village.
and you know, and we took you. Remember, we took you to your first.
Y'all were
Swahili
my first
Village.
Swahili Village
Yes.
experience.
Oh, this
Yes.
Lual, but
Yeah.
he's bigger on Instagram than
Oh,
Google
then-
him more. He doesn't really do YouTube that much.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get back to Swahili Village. So give us credit when you
Thank
blow
you guys
up.
for opening up the Swahili
When
Village
you blow up
door.
and get that big deal, you know, just
Yeah.
remind them
Yeah,
that these
you
are the
put
guys.
me in contact with Mike, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
Man, I owe you. Let's go.
We're gonna talk on the side.
Yeah, I
Brown
owe
envelope
you.
on the side.
I
Yeah, on the side. On the side.
I love Mike.
Okay.
They are so good at Swahili Village, and I just keep meeting. It's like the gift that won't stop giving.
Okay.
I keep meeting such good people there
Uh-huh.
from Kenya, from Nigeria, from anywhere. So it's just a really good African restaurant that is uniting, serving, and entertaining.
Okay.
So it's not only Kenyan, in your experience.
I feel like I've met more Nigerians there than anything.
So which Swahili village? Are you talking about the one
The
in
one in
DC?
DC.
The one, okay.
Okay.
But it's a mix. It's a mix. I'd
Mm-hmm.
say it's about like, it's not, I wouldn't just say like, this is a Kenyan restaurant. No.
Correct.
Yeah. And you know, and that's a great thing because, you know, like when you go to an Indian restaurant, guess what? You meet
It's-
all people.
Yes.
You
that
don't
That
meet
means
just
everyone
Indians.
is loving the food.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Because actually, even Kevin was on Fox 5.
Was on Fox 5. Yes. Was it
Yesterday,
earlier
yes.
this week?
Yesterday,
Yesterday,
earlier this
week.
yes. It was
Mhm.
yesterday.
Yeah, he was on
he
Fox
was
5.
presenting, he was
cooking on
showcasing
Fox,
the
lunch hour.
food, the lunch hour special.
Yeah, the
whatever,
lunch hour
whatever he
special.
has on his menu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they actually
Big shout out to
invited
Kevin.
me to that.
Oh, the Fox
At
5?
the Fox
To
5.
get, yeah, they've been so sweet, and they're like, oh, do you want to come and get content behind the scenes with us? Blah blah blah. They're really, really like, just super sweet. Yeah.
So
It's
you
been
were
a
not
vibe.
able to do because you had to go to work.
No, she didn't have.
She values
she
her
didn't have
time.
She
clearance.
values her time.
She
or
didn't have clearance for
clearance.
Swahili Village.
Oh, sorry. Oh, oops.
I had plans. I'm getting ready for some things, so I had like an appointment.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Maybe
But-
she had a hair appointment.
But you had
Excuse us.
But you had some content, you know, like about Swahili Village
Yeah.
on your page. I want you to talk about a bit what you did on your social media handle, Swahili Village.
So he took me in, gave me a tour. I noticed that there was not a Dawa-based cocktail on the menu,
Okay.
which I was just like, how did you guys miss that one? That's the only thing. Otherwise, the menu is perfect. The food was really good. So we sampled food. All of their wine is African, South African, as African as it can be, let's say.
So it's African sourced.
Yes, African sourced wine. He basically gave me a rundown of like what type of events they do, and we just talked about what their purpose is, how they're trying to plan like African Restaurant Week for all African restaurants in this area.
Wow.
How they do support, like instead of doing like we're in a competition, like they support
each other.
smaller restaurants or
Okay.
like restaurants that are trying to do the same thing. They're opening up in like New York. They're opening up all over. Like they're trying to take this like countrywide.
Okay.
Basically so. And I asked, will you guys open a Swahili village of the same caliber and like price range in Kenya?
Okay. All right.
And it was a yes.
Wow. Okay. So they plan to open a Swahili village of that caliber in Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Now, what are some of the differences maybe that you've noticed of Kenyans living in the U.S. and those back home that you may have picked up on now that you're here after living in Kenya? And this was kind of like your first experience with Kenyans living in the U.S. You know, was there? Are we the same, or is there
a lot of Kenyans, and a lot of them just have I can tell they haven't spent much time there in a while, maybe, or since it's different when you like grew up as a child, maybe, but as an adult.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's just not easy though. It's not easy to, especially when you have a job here.
Yeah.
So like even Betty and Yvonne were like, "Girl, you're more Kenyan than me right now," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I've spent more adult time there, kind of." So I feel like sometimes it's like I don't know. Yvonne is learning now. So if you look at her TikTok, she's like doing everything like it's her first time in Kenya, even though she's Kenyan. She grew up in Kenya. It's like she's relearning Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, the adult experience is totally different from the, I guess, elementary, primary school growing up.
It's a different vibe.
Totally different thing. And then it's a different Kenya anyway, because we didn't have cell phones, no social
Yeah.
media,
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
internet.
Kenya's changed.
You know, it was a whole, you know.
If I went back in 10 years, it would be the same thing. Like 5 years, maybe.
If you went back in 2 years, it's not going to be the same.
Kenya changes
Nevertheless,
every year.
it
If you miss a year,
changes every
you
year.
really miss like a whole slew of stuff.
But
That
what
means-
about the crew of the OneMic show? Do we also give you that vibe that we've not been around Kenya for a long time?
I think that
Especially the one sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I don't think that all the way, because you guys go out your way to stay involved
Yes.
and stay hip to that
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
go home. So even if you don't have like the footwork, your eyes are on the street.
Yes, absolutely.
You're in connection.
Can you break that down for that guy sitting next to you? He doesn't understand that lingo.
Even if you're not walking around, you know what's going on by keeping.
Niongeleshe na Kiswahili
He
tafadhali.
doesn't
Ongea na
know what's
Kiswahili.
going around.
Even if you're not walking.
Swahili,
around.
wacha na Kingoso.
Say it in Swahili.
Yeah, niambie.
Well, she was starting.
Are you ever going to make an attempt to learn Swahili, or that's just not for you?
I know a little, like pole, a little, you know, enough.
But are you ever going to make an attempt to learn it
So
in order to be able to
when you ask for something and you get frustrated,
I pull out Google Translate and if you tell me to say anything in Swahili, I guarantee you I can say it through Google Translate.
No, but do you have a desire to
I do.
or to be able to socialize in Swahili at a certain point?
I do. Even when I was staying in Ghana, it took me a while to learn Tree. It has to be natural. So I'm not like let me go to my Tree class this morning. Like it has to be natural. I have
Okay.
to pick it up from
Okay.
being around people. So I feel like that'll come.
and then people around you don't speak Swahili, right? So it's hard for you to pick it up. Like the people who hang out around you,
Yeah, so you have
when
to
they talk to you,
you have to be deliberate about that.
You have to
Yeah.
actually be deliberate and
you
have
have to be
Swahili
deliberate about
be the
that.
forefront.
You know, maybe I should connect you to some
because
people
people
in-
will be
in-
next
in
to you
my-
and they see, okay, yeah, America, let's speak English, right? 'Cause they
Yeah,
also want
I
to
mean, I
speak
had
it.
a couple of
Okay.
friends who were teaching me some Swahili.
But I think she'll be learning.
Yeah, but they'll teach you-
Yoruba or Igbo or something.
So
Yeah.
this is the thing. You see, when
nothing like
when,
there's
when you
anything wrong
hang
with
out with
that.
us, right? You realize that most of the time we switch between different
Yeah, you
languages,
guys
but then
Yeah.
a lot of times is we just go deep in Swahili for a period of time and
Yeah.
then come back. So
And the
if-
Swahili we're
if-
talking about Nishang.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so when
It's a
socialization,
yeah, so if you
Well,
if the people you
Lombotolov.
if the people you hang out with
Yeah.
sort of like that, then it becomes easier for you to pick it up. But then it's just like when you're hanging out with Spanish people, and then all the time they speak Spanish, and then when they say something, they say Spanish, then then tell it to you in English.
Yeah.
You pick it up much faster.
But I think you know what, when people are starting to learn languages as you get older, actually you start learning the curse words first.
Yeah.
Before you start, if you want to say somebody, how do you say ass in Matako?
Yeah.
Or if you want to insult somebody, pendejo, you're like, those are the words that you don't really go out there to start.
That's your experience.
No.
That's your experience.
It's boss.
It's not in mine. That's your experience.
Ali has a different take.
Ali, it's a type C. First and foremost, it's a type
but he
C.
teaches language.
It's a type C.
Something you got to give him credit for is that he actually teaches language. Swahili
Sahil.
being.
Yes.
He
I
actually
teach
teaches
the
Swahili.
language.
Wow.
Yes.
So when are you gonna offer free lessons?
I think you messed
If
up
you were
there.
really invested in me
you
learning.
messed up there. You messed up at that one with the F. That's where you messed up completely.
No, but we can have
Voluntary.
but we can have a conversation about
That's
that.
the F one.
Okay. Let me say my biggest thing when teaching Swahili, I'm good at teaching people who want to learn it. There's some people who do it because they have to do it. I'm not a very good teacher for those who have to do it. I'm better because teachers have different personalities. There are those who know how to teach people who have to learn it. Personally, I'm good at teaching people that want to learn it. So even the kids that I teach, I have to, before even I start teaching them the first word, I kind of have to bribe them into telling them why they should like it.
Yeah.
So that it's not a thing of, my parent is the one who pushed me to do this. Yeah, so that's because that makes a very big difference.
Yeah.
It makes a very big difference when you're learning something because you have to, or when you're learning something because you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna, we're gonna talk on the side. And Esther Mulusa here says the J1 visa for teacher exchange programs for up to 3 years. So Esther knows something about it. Maybe you can give us more details.
She needs to give us leakage. Maybe send us a paragraph or two.
Yeah.
Because we know teachers.
Okay. And then again, I want to remind the listeners that you're tuned into the interview hour of the OneMic show, and I'm your co-host, Ali Badawy. We're talking to Brittney Caldwell, a black expert living in Kenya. She will later in the hour talk about an upcoming group trip to Kenya that she's organizing. So stay tuned to find out. But before we continue, we're going to have a social segment tonight. Uno, I don't know whether you want to talk about some of the things that we'll be touching on in the social segment. Brittney will still be here. And some of the things that we're going to be talking to Brittney about is that we're going to be doing a quick review of some comments and questions on YouTube that came up after the last interview. That's back in October. And then
you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Of course, but
and then Brittney will also be spilling some hot and steamy ketepa tea about her love life. So keep it locked. That's going to be in the social segment. Yes, so that's going to be in the social segment. We want you to keep it locked. Brittney, your YouTube page, are you still creating content? I know I've been seeing some content here and there, but are you taking a break from it? What's going on there?
Clearance.
I have just not really been motivated here. The energy's low for me. It's low vibrational here for me.
It's winter.
So I just kind of go live. My next trip to Abuja, I have a lot of content planned and a lot of collaborations coming. My trip to Kenya, I've actually had someone reach out to me and ask if they can vlog the whole entire trip for me. Somebody in Nairobi, so that'll obviously be content. But I'm just unless I'm in a vibe and I'm feeling it, I'm not gonna post for consistency if I'm not really feeling it. So I've really just been on my business here.
Okay. And now the content you're not creating in Abuja, that power issue that you talked about, how does that work? I'm now thinking about
power banks.
Okay.
And I have my cell phone and my camera's charged.
Okay.
So if the lights go off, y'all will be there with me.
Okay.
We're all just going to be talking in the dark in the video because y'all are going to get the real vibe.
Do you have a preferred brand of power bank?
I just do Amazon. I don't even know the name, but it comes in the twin pack, the small, skinny white one and black one. I feel like they all do the same thing.
My experiences have been very interesting with power banks.
Really?
So yes, it all depends on where you get the cheaper they are, the worse they are.
I never have issues with power banks.
Okay.
Hopefully, hopefully,
and that's good because again, you said you buy them on Amazon, so that's great.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like with the U.S. standards, obviously, is that a lot of the products we buy
Do
from
you
here
have Do you have
are
a
good.
power bank you're pitching?
No. I'm not going to pitch anything for anybody because I'm not getting paid for it. But I have a preferred brand that I like to use, which so far has not failed me.
Text it to me.
I'll text it.
Which one?
I'm not giving these Jamas Nini for free.
Okay.
I'm like,
All right,
yeah.
but back to your YouTube content. Do you feel like maybe when you go back to Kenya or to Nigeria, to any other part of Africa, do you feel like that motivation is gonna come back? Is America what is maybe demotivating you from creating content, or what exactly is it?
I would say that's like 70% of it. But even when I went to Abuja and Benin City last time, I didn't really vlog.
Yeah, because there was.
I gotta get comfortable. That's the thing. So like when I first got to Kenya, I did not vlog. I just did like the talking, the Nairobi versus Accra in my house and interviews. It took me a while to start vlogging because I got to be comfortable walking around with a camera and really in the streets.
I know. Yeah.
I cannot just pull up somewhere improperly.
Yeah.
Especially Nigeria. So this next time I'll feel a little more comfortable. But I wasn't just about to like, what's up, you guys? I'm in Nigeria. Like, come on, bro. I just got here. Like, can I look around? You know?
Yeah.
So that was a big part of it.
Now, and you know, like vlogging in Nigeria and what people have been talking about in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of those countries that I would also like to visit, but there's a lot that people say about it. That you know, like it's unsafe. You know,
Yeah.
people getting kidnapped and stuff like that. Is that?
God, I need a shot.
Is that sensation or? Is that sensation, or is there some reality to that from the short experience that you had? And we do understand that you were not there for quite a long time, but what was your feeling? I
did interview someone while I was there. So let me say, Nigeria is a beautiful country full of great people who are welcoming and kind, highly intelligent, and it is highly populous. So even if you have 1,000 great people with their population, that if there's one bad person to 1,000 great people with their amount of people, that's a lot of bad people.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that. So first of all, when I got off the plane, there was like a sign. I don't know if you guys remember when all of it's Boko Haram broke into the prison and got all the prisoners out.
Yep.
Most of these people are still missing. So there was like a big sign when I got out of the airport, like, if you see these people, call this number. So I'm like, whoa, okay, that's a little scary. Like, you know, I'm just going to keep walking. And then when you talk to people, because I was like, you know, it can't be that bad. Everyone's telling me, because I did an interview before I left with El Dadan, who is a Nigerian who lives in America.
Yes, I watched that interview.
And he was like a popular rapper. Like, he even said, Brittney, do not go to Nigeria right now.
Wow. Okay.
He said, don't go. And people were like eating him up in the comments saying, why are you telling her not to go to Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I don't think it's a safe thing for you. I'm worried about you going. So I went with the positive mindset and I did feel safe. Like the person I'm with, I know would like never let anything bad happen to me. So I went and I kept telling people, like, I feel like this is an exaggeration. Like, am I really going to get kidnapped? And these are people who really live there, and they're like, yeah, you could. I could. Honestly, I have a little money here. I could get kidnapped. I was like, oh, my God, look at that mountain. Have you guys gone hiking? No, I don't want to get kidnapped. And these are, like, Nigerians.
These are Nigerians telling you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, move properly. Like, we went from Benin City to my friend's village, and we had, like, a lot of liquor in the car because we were going to a party. So we had, like, a lot of things. And they hired security, like, with guns.
Y'all had money too, because I saw y'all making it rain.
Yeah, spray. Yeah. Like, yeah, they had security at every single event. Like,
yeah, that's true. Because the last time I was there, it was for a wedding, and when we landed, we were picked up by. So this is what happens in Nigeria. Most of the army guys, especially during the December time, they get leave. And then now they offer bodyguard services to people, right? So at any particular time, the guy who had invited us had already told us how it is. So the hotel already was privately booked and had guards around it. When we were picked at the airport, we had like 4 jeeps full of guys with guns on it. And even just going to the club, we had to go as a group, and we had to go with the guards inside. And then inside the club, there are different bodyguards who will go with us, and we will drink, then pay the owner of the club the next day.
So that you
So
don't
that we
have
don't
to
move
pull
with
your
money. Yeah, we don't move with
Wow.
money because
Okay.
it can be, yeah.
This is, I mean, like I personally, like keeping it positive with
No, it was
African
fun.
countries.
No, it was fun.
But this
I will tell you the truth. I enjoyed it. I had
If
a
you're
blast.
good, you're good.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
It was just that moving around with too much security.
but you know,
like you know the way you want to go buy stuff to take back home, and then
Yeah.
everybody has a hangover, and you're like, let me just get a taxi and I'll go.
Yeah.
You just step and you're like, wait. So you yourself, they have to go look for like 3 guys to come with you.
Okay.
They were just, the thing was,
So-
he was just like, you'll get kidnapped. That's the thing. And
So from what I'm getting, Nigeria is not a place where you can just go solo backpacking.
I would definitely not suggest you do that.
Okay.
Unless
especially
you're
if you're a
maybe in
foreigner,
Lagos.
if you're coming
maybe
from another country.
I can't even talk because I didn't go to Lagos, but I would just suggest
We
you
went to Lagos.
know somebody who can guide you.
We
Okay.
we were in Lagos.
So
and
it would be wise to like get someone who would
Yeah, go with
show
the-
you around with a local.
go with the
Please,
local.
Find a local.
Oh,
Yeah.
Find a local. Go with the local and go with the local first. Who knows you? Who you trust? Not just a local. You go there and
Yeah.
pick.
Hey, what's your name? Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with the
Find
local who
somebody
knows you.
who knows
Yeah, a
somebody
local who knows you, who knows somebody, and
yeah.
they will
Okada
make sure that you have everything good. Everything for you is good. Like it was a good trip. All that extra security was just too unnerving.
Wow. I mean, this is stuff that we take for granted, like as Kenyans, because sometimes we say Nairobi there's insecurity, but I don't think
but
I don't think I've ever had anything like this
Never.
that where you move and you have to get like a guard to move around with you
Yes.
just to go
It's
for
like,
shopping.
Now, remember, elections are coming.
Remember, as Brittney said, right? They're highly populous.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of people with money, but then they have a lot of people without money.
Without money. Okay.
And
It's hard.
it's hard for people. It's hard. People will try to find how to
survive.
and mostly it's the crime cartels which control that kidnapping and all that. So
There was a YouTuber who had gone for
I
so-
just was thinking about saying that.
who had gone for that. I think that Water Island, the place with
Yeah.
Banana Island.
no water.
Mm.
But it's like Madare but iko na maji.
Oh yeah. I know. I've seen it.
yeah,
I've seen
I've
it in
seen-
a lot.
yeah.
of-
So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
had
Sad.
actually at one point, even when they were in the middle of filming or whatever, the guy was it's like some guys accosted. They were accosting the guy
When
like,
in
yo,
Nani. Yeah.
who are you?
Yeah.
We need money, whatever, because you can't
He
just be
didn't
recording.
have money, like.
Right? He didn't have, but I think maybe that's the one we're talking about. The same guy, yeah. But he went. He was actually saying, and this is a YouTuber. Like,
Yeah.
because you first have to talk. You first have to get permission. So
Yeah.
you can't always kind of South Sea, and you just like you can't just go and start recording. No, there are people over there that says, "Well, boss, who are you?"
Exactly
And
why
pay.
I keep.
Oh, okay.
Chota pesa Buddha.
Okay.
Because your equipment will go. And hey,
You
I
might
think he
go
was-
with along with
yes,
it.
you might not go
No,
along
but
with the
you see,
equipment.
I mean, for someone, okay, let me just think hypothetically here. For if I go there, and I'm not talking, so nobody's gonna tell that I'm not
My
from
friend.
around there.
Ali,
No, do this. You go, then you
Ali,
you report
Ali,
to
this-
us.
this is the thing.
Let us know
Yeah.
how
This is the
how
thing,
it is.
right?
You know how people in
You
Kenya.
you came from another country.
Yeah.
You passed immigration. Somebody in immigration saw a foreigner come in by themselves.
But there's so many people, so it goes to report to people in the.
Already. So there's this is the thing.
There's a trail.
You obviously somebody who's kidnapping you. They're not gonna kidnap you and go hide you in their kitchen or in the bathroom to ask for ransom. Somebody who's kidnapping, it's a well organized, well run thing. Because at the end of the day they're fighting. The cops are looking into it.
Mhm.
They are adapting foreign nationals, which is coming with pressure from foreign governments. If an American is kidnapped right now, the FBI are going to investigate that case together with the CIA and the
He
country.
was from
right?
Britain, though.
No, I'm just saying like
I think,
I'm saying an example.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying.
yeah. So you as a foreigner, if you go there by yourself, you're putting yourself much at risk because they know you're a foreigner. You've come from another country. Everybody who sees a foreigner assumes you have money because you paid money to get a plane to come there.
That's
you're
what
going
I was
to
trying
stay
to
in a
explain to
hotel.
them.
Yeah.
You're going to stay in a hotel, right? So they believe, it's Nigeria is not like America. When you come to America, most people come to enhance their life in America. When you go to Nigeria or Kenya, you're not going to enhance your life. You're going to visit as a tourist or somebody who's coming from abroad going back home.
It depends, though.
That's the normal assumption.
Yeah.
Not that it depends. That's the normal assumption. They assume for you to go there, you have money.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going there as a broke person.
Yeah, but I'm assuming, just like the little that you've logged, there's a lot of positives. There's a lot of good sides, that's out there. But I think it's also important for people to be situationally aware.
Yeah.
When
Because
they
the question
travel.
will be, even if they're good stuff, even if there are a few things, but what outweighs?
I
Being
met a white
kidnapped?
guy. I met a white guy at Transcorp Hotel, and me and him just started kicking. And he was like, "Yeah, I build schools in the north." And I'm like, "The north, Nigeria?" And he's like, "Yeah, mostly Muslim."
That's the
And
Muslim
I'm like,
part,
"Isn't
yeah.
that where like Boko Haram is hiding?" And he's like, "Maybe." And then I'm like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Do you ever feel unsafe or like you're gonna get kidnapped?"
I think white
And he
boys.
was like, "Maybe for like 2 weeks." And now, no problem. I've been there for 3 years. I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nigeria is a very big country, and I think there might be different experiences in different parts of the country because it's
That's
a very
another
big
thing
country.
yeah, that's true.
because that's
Obviously.
the city.
Obviously.
So
but
when you in the city, that's one thing. Just
most crime is usually in the cities. You'll
Yeah.
find the crime in the city. But then if you go to the Delta region, that where they're fighting the oil companies, there's some unrest because of that, right? Then you go to the north, there's Boko Haram over
Yeah.
there. So there are different type of insecurities that will, and it's just the way the U.S. Embassy tells people, don't go to Kisumu, you'll be stoned.
Yeah.
Elections will be stoned.
Well, when
Or
I
if you go
went,
to Lamu,
Or if you go to Lamu,
Yeah.
Shabab,
Muhabara.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's just,
when I went, there was literally a security warning from the embassy that said, "Do not go to Abuja. There
Wow.
is security and unrest." And my
That's
mom's
from
like,
the U.S. State
from
Department.
the U.S. Department. And my mom's like, "Brittney, this says do not go to Abuja."
And what did Brittney do?
Went to Abuja.
Didn't listen. And even went for a wedding.
But when I went
does
there,
that?
it was a vibe. It was chill. I did not see any unrest or feel it. So it's like you have to ask yourself,
but I mean, listen. I think with the intel that America gets, there is concern for them to put out. I mean, I would say that if they put out an alert like that, there's intel that they have.
But they put those alerts even for Kenya.
For Kenya.
Yeah.
Al Shabaab, but
so-
they put
so-
them
so
for Lamu. Because
Yeah.
over there, Al Shabaab, if you're going to Lamu,
That's what I'm
just be
saying.
careful. They're not saying that in
Yeah.
Nairobi.
No,
It's
you
Lamu.
know when that
No,
when that alert comes out, usually they have intel that there is a plan
There's
for
something
A,
about
B,
to go
C
down.
happen, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it will happen. And also when they give out that issue, they've given that intel to the Kenyan security forces or the Nigerian security forces. So the security forces are dealing with it at that particular time, but they're just telling you, be careful because when you go there, you might be a victim of it. It doesn't mean that don't go to Abuja. When you step out in Abuja, you'll be kidnapped. Don't go to Lamu.
Yeah.
Al-Shabaab are just waiting for you over there to take you. It's
Yeah.
just that you,
just means-
unfortunately,
The risk is
you
real.
might,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just means Kachonjo, be watchful. Now, some
Come,
quick
Micah.
comments here. Some quick comments here from Esther Mulusa. Esther says many Kenyan teachers come on these visas with their spouses and children. I think they get it through the ministry. Many find a way to stay after their 3 years is over. I
Yeah.
know some in North Carolina. This is something that I'm going to follow up because I think this might benefit a lot of people. And I think it's also important as Kenyans, whenever you benefit from such an opportunity, spread the word.
Yeah.
Don't be shy to
But
spread the
also,
word.
do not do it unless you genuinely love teaching, because the kids over here will bring you through a different system than what you're used to in Kenya. So
They can
unless
take you through the ringer.
genuinely love teaching
They'll
kids,
character develop you.
Yes.
Character development.
And then
There
you
you
cannot
go.
punish them here the way you punish them in Kenya.
Yeah, exactly. yes.
Kneel down
Or they
with
can't
hands
meet,
up.
They can't
Hands
meet
up.
you in the
Yeah.
staff room.
You're fired.
And if you touch your toes.
All right. Okay. And Washeke yes tells Micah, I love your matutas.
This is Matuta. Hey,
That's what she says.
Put some respect on
put
it.
some respect on my baby locks.
Yeah,
Aye.
And then Stephen Batty here says 206 million people in Nigeria as opposed to 50 million people in Kenya. That's a comparison in terms of population. So so that's quite a big difference. And then Slay says there was a Nigerian BBC reporter who said while he was recording that he was being threatened. He did a documentary on gangs or something like that. And then Stephen Father says even journalists need people on the ground to help them move in the streets. Forgot the name they use. Even in war-torn countries, when reporters go where they need to get a local person to help them get through border control and checkpoints. Udi Madenge, karibu sana. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then Esther says Kenyans make the best teachers in the USA. Esther is also a teacher.
Okay, I feel the vibe, Esther.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Esther is also a teacher,
And she's in NC,
so she knows something.
I'm sure over there.
And there's a time she was in Machinani.
Developed.
Yeah, and Stephen here says I was sending that info last month as some ISO is hiring for teaching positions. I think this is a topic that we're gonna dedicate some time to, and we're gonna follow up on.
She's a lecturer.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Get it right,
bro.
bro.
Yes, I meant lecturer. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
All
I
right.
think you guys
Get it
are-
right.
Yeah, lecturer. Sorry.
No
My
matter
bad.
what it is.
Yeah.
That means she's a professor.
She said lecturer.
Lecturer.
Yeah.
So leave it at
Lecturer.
that.
Oh, okay.
Lecturer.
Lecturer. Say lecturer.
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 Yeah, you gotta start speaking with that.
The
Kenyan
C is
accent.
in there.
Yeah, yeah, the C is
The-
in there.
it's
How
a
do you say?
CH.
How do you say it in American?
Lecturer.
What?
Lecturer.
With a
lecturer?
roar. With a roar.
Yeah, lecturer.
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 See lecturer.
Lecturer.
Okay.
With a roar.
Lecturer.
Lecturer.
All right. All right.
Rrr.
All right. Now, Brittney, real quick before we wrap up this segment, you have a trip that's coming up sometime in the year to
Yeah.
Kenya, a group trip.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that trip.
I got tired of everyone in my DMs like, girl, where do I want to go? Where can I go? Can you meet me? When you going, girl? I'm about to be there. So I was like, you know what? If you want to hang and you want me to show you the best time, meet me on this day for this much, and let's just vibe. Yeah, I'm gonna take you to. It was hard to plan because it can't be too long, but I'm just ready to X out everyone. Like I said last time, most African Americans are on their way to Accra, or whatever. I'm trying to bring people to Kenya.
Okay, and
So, is there gonna be any business opportunities, investing, blah blah, or is it just having fun?
touring?
Is
The
this like
vibe.
So I do have a lot planned, and I do have a lot of like local businesses that will be providing services. So I have like this lady who just opened up a cocktail business. So she's gonna be like not cooking, but doing Kenyan cocktail service type thing.
Okay.
I have a friend who has a paint and sip type situation. So it's little integrations, but I have to do like the landmarks, like Karura, like
Have you planned your tours? For
I have. So I'm
everything?
coordinating. I'm partnering with Bryson Tours. Anytime that I have done anything on my YouTube, it's Bryson Tours. So Ant from day one, I don't think I posted our interview. Actually, I interviewed him, but I don't think I ended up posting it. Ant from day one, he's 100% Kenyan raised, owned, licensed, Bryson Tours, and he is my guy.
Okay, Bryson tour. So do you have people already signed up?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how many people do you plan to have on this tour?
15 max, and I have 6 to have like paid their deposit and signed up, and it's been out for about 2 weeks.
Where are you guys going?
We are going to start off at 9, go to Naivasha afterwards.
What time? What time of the
August
year?
14th to the 24th,
Of
Oh,
2023.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah, and guess what? The OneMic show is gonna be taking a break at that particular time.
All right. Oh, I guess I got
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, we can meet there.
You can meet
Yeah,
there.
we can meet there. Then we're gonna give you the money when we get there.
no, we'll pay her the next day.
Yeah.
Like in,
wow. Yeah, no, I'm excited. And I've had a lot of inquiries, but the money is a price, I think. But
Okay.
you got to pay for time.
How much
That is
are
true.
people paying?
Total is $4,000 for 10 days, accommodations included, all park fees,
Airfare.
everything, not airfare. I can't take over your airfare.
Okay.
But I'm talking like nice accommodations,
and
activities,
transportation within.
food,
So, Naivasha-
transportation,
So Nairobi, Naivasha, where else?
Indiani.
Diani.
Oh,
Okay.
That's not bad.
Where you guys
That's
staying in
not
Diani?
bad.
That's not bad at all.
It's not. So I have an Airbnb Connect, and it's a lady who owns 3 mansions
Oh, so
that
you're
are
gonna
like
be
right
like,
on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're
Okay.
doing like a group housing type thing
Oh,
and then
that's good.
splitting it.
Okay.
so what's the ratio, ladies, gents?
So far, it's been all ladies.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
I mean, is it deliberately
No,
just ladies
No,
or
it's just
guys
that's
also?
who's signing up.
Okay.
It's open to me as long as you
I think
pass
it's.
the vibe
I
check.
think that they'll have more fun if
So
they just
you
ladies.
no.
so.
She said something very crucial. As long as you do what?
Pass the vibe check.
Yep,
And what's that?
that's
vibe check?
important.
That
That's
guy next to
important.
her wouldn't pass.
Yeah.
Just
That's important.
What's a vibe check?
That's important.
This
for
guy
group-
has
that-
chosen violence
No,
today.
no.
Yeah.
A vibe check is important for a group trip.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
You don't want
I
to
had
go
to
for
do
a
that
group
with the
trip. The
Ghana
next
trip.
day, half the people are not talking to each other.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Or they wanna kill each other.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Some lady messaged me. That's how the conversation. She's like, "I want to go to Kenya, but am I gonna pass the vibe check?" And I was like, "Babe, oh my God, stop! Yes, call me first. Hold on.
Does the One Mic Show crew pass the vibe check?
Y'all pass the vibe check.
All
Y'all
right,
would
all
be
right.
fun.
No. Tell him that.
Yeah.
Y'all pass the vibe check. Y'all
No,
would be
no.
fun. But I think that this is gonna be fun. And like, I think those are the perfect cities. Some people are like, why didn't you do Kisumu? You don't think you should have taken them to Lamu? Look, babe, we only got 10 days. People have jobs.
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
you gotta
Yes.
get in and get out. So
10 days.
Diani,
At some point,
Naivasha,
you have
Nairobi.
to,
And one national park, and that's-
have to
yeah.
pull back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you don't want to go to what is it, Maru?
Masai Mara.
Masai Mara.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Nairobi National Park is a great safari.
It's actually-
It is.
Let's
Actually,
stop.
it is.
Safari.
It is.
Yeah,
And-
let's
and-
stop underplaying it.
And you're guaranteed
It
to.
actually is.
You're actually guaranteed to see
The big 5.
3 of the big 5.
Like, come on. I
No,
don't have
there are
to
2
travel
that
all
don't
the
live
way.
in Nairobi National Park: elephants and leopards.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Funny
okay
thing
with
is, on
me.
your drive going to coast, man,
You'll see a lot, a lot of
elephants.
elephants.
Because there's one time we were slowing
Yeah.
down to take pictures.
You know
That's
what? You know what we do when
Out in Asia.
you know what we do when we go to Malindi. We usually pass through the national park.
Or you use
Yeah,
through
we
Savo,
don't.
just go
Yeah,
to-
through
go to
Savo, then
Chochoro.
and
Wow.
come on straight to Malindi. And guess what? It's worth that $30 because we usually two truckloads, and the park has a road that is not really tarmacked but very smooth,
It's very
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
and you're guaranteed to see all the
But
big
keyword
5.
is truck. You can't go there with Kaka NZD.
Actually, you can go with a RZD. It's a
Yeah.
very smooth road.
Now,
And you can go see the elephants at the elephant sanctuary.
Mm.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. And where can people sign up? People who want to sign up and come for this trip, where
It's
can they
on
sign
my
up?
Instagram and it's also on my website. That is on my YouTube. It's PayPal, but first you have to email me or contact me. We have to speak. It's not something that you can just
You
go
have
ahead
to
and
pass the
sign.
vibe check.
Vibe
Yeah,
check.
the
Yeah,
vibe
vibe
check is
check.
real. Like
Vibe check is
there's
real.
questions that need to be answered.
Litmus
I need to
test.
know if you have health problems, like before, I can let you know if I really need to accommodate you. So
Yeah.
it's not even about the vibe, like, oh, are you fun? Like it's, do you mind walking and hiking? Do you have any food allergies? Are you okay sitting in a car? Because we're going to be driving to
Yeah.
Naivasha. You know, we got to chat.
Are you okay with the sun? Are you okay with the weather?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, there's so
They-
many things. Yeah.
What about if you're? Do you ask if they're okay with flies, mosquitoes?
Obviously, they know they have to fly over.
Listen, there's certain things I
No,
just don't.
No, they're like you know,
Not-
there are people
not
who,
my
who
ministry.
don't do people who just don't do insects and stuff. They
Yeah.
don't.
So now we have a comment over here on YouTube. Alfie Amara, hey Brit, and Nyendo Jiru says, hey Brittney, love the hair.
Thanks, babe. I just got it done this morning by my girl
Nyendo
Princess.
Jiru.
Just for the One Mic Show.
Yeah, no, I'm
Oh.
so serious. I wanted it to be fresh.
There we go, there we go.
It's on point like a decimal.
Yeah,
Thank
there we
you.
go. A few comments here, like there was someone here who was asking, I think this is Stephen Bati, is there a different word in Swahili for teacher and lecturer? Ali Badawy, yes, there is a
There
different
is.
word. Yes. So teacher is mwalimu and a lecturer ni mhadhiri. So there you go. Different word for teacher.
Nalimu.
Mkufunzi ni-
Walimu.
Yeah.
Walimu.
Mkufunzi ni?
Mkufunzi is like a coach.
It's like a coach.
Yeah.
Walimu
Mkufunzi.
Ali.
Mfunduzi.
Mwalimu Ali.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether
But because
Mwalimu, I don't know whether Mwalimu vibes with me.
Mufundizi.
Yeah.
No?
Mufundizi.
Yeah, but
South
Mwalimu,
Africa.
yes. But that what you said
No,
is right.
English.
Mwalimu Ali.
Yes.
Is it more of like a feminine?
No. There's
Okay.
no. Remember, Swahili has no gender. You know, Swahili is not gender sensitive.
You know, it's actually English, the only language that is gender sensitive. They said it was English and like a few languages.
English and a lot of European languages,
Yeah.
the romantic languages, they're also very gender centric. Yeah.
OD Joe.
Odijo, that's a slang word. That's a slang word for teacher.
What does
Yeah.
it mean, like a bad teacher?
No.
No, it doesn't mean a bad teacher.
Oh.
Odijo, and
Odijo.
that's
It comes from Mwalimu.
And
It actually, Odijo comes from
ni teacher. It
Teacher,
comes
from
teacher.
the
It
word
comes from
teacher.
the English word teacher.
from the English word teacher.
Yeah,
Okay,
it comes
teacher.
from
So,
teacher.
yeah.
Odijo. Yeah,
Odijo.
but that's very Nairobi. That's very Nairobi.
Sheng.
I know that is
Sheng
very
vibes.
old. That is very old Sheng. Don't
Very,
say
very
it.
And that's very
Okay.
old Sheng.
I
Yeah.
don't speak it.
Yeah.
People will
I
laugh at
told you
People
about
will
that
know
guy
you're
next
just
to
lost.
It's slang. It's okay, but it's good to know.
his vibe
Yeah.
card needs to be pulled.
Yeah, his vibe card needs to
saying.
be
The
pulled.
vibe card needs to be
You see,
pulled.
there she's
Yeah,
laughing.
and
No,
then,
no, she's
and then
laughing.
here we have.
That's why you need. That's why you need to stay. When you go to Kenya, you walk around. So you pick up the new lingo. Stop
Hit the
staying in the
hit the
house.
street.
Yeah,
hit the
and
streets, man.
Esther Mulusa says you need to visit my boma in Kakamega. It's a hidden gem. Kakamega forest is a piece of heaven. So
I've never heard of that, but let me put it in my notes.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, Kakamega is in Western Kenya.
Kakamega.
Kakamega, you know, and it's not Big Brother in English, but that's what some people say Kakamega is. Yeah.
You're a mess.
Wow,
You're a mess.
Ali,
You're
Ali,
unhinged.
wow.
No, that's what
Kakamega
some people say.
forest.
Wow,
That's what some people say. I had it somewhere. Kakamega,
Wow.
Big Brother. And then let me see what else here. Stephen Batty says $4,000 is in expenses and about $1,500 airline fare is a good deal. So that's great.
Buy a
So I
ticket
think
now,
Stephen
it
Batty
not
might be signing up.
1,500.
So Stephen Batty inbox
But they
Brittney
first have
so
to
you
talk
can
so
sign
that
up.
if she can,
So that you can
Yeah,
say you
he-
pass
he-
the vibe deal.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
first has
Yeah.
to, you know.
You know, just based off of that comment alone, vibe checked.
Vibe checked. Okay. All right. Okay. So, but you can buy your ticket. So it's from what date to what date again? August
August
14th.
14th.
And then leaving
24th.
24th.
And you can come in early and leave late, babe.
Okay. So you're on your own when it comes to the air ticket.
Yeah, I can't commit to that.
Okay. Everything
Yeah,
else.
Visa, figure it out for yourself too.
Okay.
As well.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But I'm here to help and answer questions.
Yes. So inbox and remind us your social media handles again.
Brittney in Africa, BRITTNEYC. Well, not my last name, Brittney in Africa. So I have a flyer on there. Even if you can't go, send it to your friends.
Okay. All right. And now with that said, this is it for now, but want you to stay tuned because later in the social segment, Brittney will still be here with us and we will be reviewing some comments and questions on YouTube that came up after her interview with us back in October. She'll also be spilling some hot and steamy ketepa tea about her love life. She gave a hint to it, but she's gonna reveal everything.
a bomb.
Yes. So want you to keep it locked. Mimi ni mtangazaji wenu Ali Badawy aka Mjukuu wa Masai, and you're still tuned in to the One Mic Show. Uno.
Ladies and gentlemen, mabibi na mabwana, still a non-call presentation of the One Mic Show. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the people's kamkonji is in full effect. DJ machachari buda boss kave. Togende.
Alexis on the beat.
Unapenda John, nikupe John, unapenda John, nikupe John, madem wote wanapenda John, basi wote si wapewe John, madem wote wanapenda John, basi wote si wapewe John. Shadow mado, ovacado mado, waiter, let a beans to the final. Shadow mado, ovacado mado, waiter, let a munapenda kamnyweso, si tunajua munapenda hii mateso. Tunajiachilia leo sio kesho, tunajiachilia leo sio kesho. Na waset tumetoka Githurai, tunabamba mpaka huko Ruai, tunashika Matarongai, kwa Matarongai. Nikicheki display penye imejaa, nikicheki golden penye wamevaa, tunawachiki chichi wanajaa.